Today is June 30th, 2025. Actually, this is the right now we will be talking about AMD. It's at 141.90, which is almost equivalent to 142. June 30th, 2025, half of the year gone, and here we are today. Before we start here, let me show you the last study that I had for the AMD, which was right here. So this was done on December 14th of 2024. This was the view. I was hoping at that time that 100 will hold, which it did not. We went all the way back to 74. So for this one, there were some studies done actually on this one. There were some channels and stuff drawn. This channel, which is pretty interesting, stayed intact till it went to tested over here 72. So it does work on a longer term. So please, it's very easy to plot it on your chart, and it does the magic. So let's move forward to our AMD. This is AMD today 142. So this is the multi-year chart over here, as you see. We don't see anything, but if we zoom in over here, you might be able to plot some lines over here. So let's see. So this is what we came across. If you see that since 2017, this is the minor channel. It started trading on this one. Then there is a craze happened about the AI. Then it went up. While we were coming down, this is the downward red color channels. Dotted black is the rising channel, which is a less inclination angle actually, and the red one is a sharp fall, as we see that over here. When it went up, the angle of the slope was not that intense when it was coming down. So that means it's the stock goes through under tremendous pressure, selling pressure. Even if it doesn't deserve, the news is not that bad, but it get punished. That's the profile of the AMD actually. Now the run that happened is still not that sharp. Yes, it was sharper than the last rally over here, but now if you see that the angle that we are climbing in, it's even sharper. So just wanted to point out that one. As we see that this red channels, most of the time slopes were being followed, and if you see, we are barely above this cross section of this red and black dotted, and we are on the upper channel now of rising black dotted channel, let's call it. It's a good news. 140 will act as a support now, which was earlier a resistance. That's what I wanted to say. Now let's see what is the pattern, what is the waves formation, then what are the chances that the stock is holding Fibonacci levels. As we see that over here, that very first time on the sharp run, it came down all the way to 70%. This is just for the observation, but please note the numbers, Fibonacci numbers, that's coming 125, 100, 82, 63, 50, 36 at this level. Right now the second run, which started from here, which is 62, 220, observe the Fibonacci numbers as well, 186, 161, 140, 120, 106, so on and so forward. Now let's plot one more Fibonacci level from beginning stage to the low and high, and let's see the Fibonacci number. So 140, 114, 87. So technically balance point comes at 114, right? Which is not a true case. Our balance is coming at 100. There is a resistance at 140 which we cross. 173, yes, intact. It's going to be a resistance. And if you see that over here, when it was going up, it slightly touched and it went down. Over here 61. Fibonacci numbers are great. You can see the characteristic of the chart, and this number plays the role. Time to time it acts as a support, resistance, magnet, whatever you want to call it. We will go why we were talking about these numbers actually in detail. Now this is our Elliott wave. That's how it is going to be. So as you see that I took all the lines, parallel channel lines out, mostly over here. I'm just keeping one slope downwards channel and this upward channel to have the better visualization. So this is called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the correction A, B, C. The reflection points of there are two reflection points. Basically it's only one reflection points. When we see the wave from B to C, the wave upward that goes, which is here 120, that's once it's broken, it moves, the downtrend is over, and as long as it sustains 120, we are done with this downfall and the correction is concluded. Yes, now there is one more failure point that could act over here, which will be 173. We will go in detail as well on it. So what I wanted to point it out over here in this one is the set point, as we talk about. If you see that it came down here, went down, cross it, And if you see it hover around this level, which is 100, came down, bounced back from here. It was supposed to be bounced back, as I was predicting on December 14th around that. Okay, hopefully it will stop it, but it did not, and it went down. And if you see that this is 80 level right there, so there is one minor support at 80. We checked good actually. It's a major support between 80 to 60. It's a major support for the AMD now. The resistance, if you see, that came around 140. This is a, I believe, 120 line over here, and this is 140. So it does exist, but it's a minor one. 120 on the upper side, the resistance was the minor, and on the lower side 180 acted as a good support actually. This is the closer look over here. Based on that, if you see on the right side, I started changing a little bit the way I plot the chart, so at least you can see something that I'm not talking about it. So why I'm talking those numbers, we will discuss it in the next slide. So I wanted to show you more in detail about the recent trend that's been happening on the AMD. So this is a closer look. If you see that whenever the higher channel it goes between, its selling pressure comes. It never went above this, and we are the first time trying to go about it. So hopefully we will sustain. And if you see that the rising channel black dotted, it's right over here as well. So we are at the right point. That will act as a crucial level for us. As long as we sustain 141, we are fine. There is a minor correction that I'm looking that could drag us down to 130 level, and as long as it's maintained, the view still stays intact for AMD, that it's riding up, and we might be going to test 170, 187 level actually, 173 and 187. So those reflex points I was talking about it before I go over here. This was our correction wave A, then the up wave happened B, then this one folded in 5 waves. If you see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was the end of the correction. What we want to see that this wave going up, normally when the correction is over, it dips down up to 60 to 50%, then we start the journey back. That we have not seen it. Yes, it was beaten down. The characteristic of the stock is different, so this could be unique scenario over here. So as I was talking about the down wave, so this could be one theory, okay, that we might have seen the correction. Second, as we move forward on the slides, we will see that the volume went down over here. It was higher actually on this one if you see from here, but it went down. Then now we are gradually picking up. So this is a good base that we are building for AMD, but it's moving too quick now. So let's see how much it's going to sustain. Even if it comes to 117, still it will stay intact as long as we don't dip below this reflex points. There is one more reflex point could be coming in future, would be 173. That's not really a reflex points, but we might see some profit booking, selling at that point. Also, there is a minor support, as I spoke earlier, that it exists at 130. And if you see, the resistance are already, I plotted 187, 174, and 150. 150 is a psychological. It's not really a resistance on the chart pattern, but psychological barrier of the number that traders have in their head actually. But what we are looking is 174. There is a minor profit booking could be done at 160 for this stock, because you have to think about it. It was 80, 160. I don't say that many people got into that level at 80, but if you see that there were some buying at 100. So think about it, 60% in last 7 months, not a bad one, right? So yeah, we might expect some profit. So what I'm showing on this slide is the downfall that happened from 226 to 80 level. Now if you plot the Fibonacci, it's confluencing with our lines of resistance and support. If you see that these are the blue lines that we draw, 150, 173, 187 over here, 130 was our minor support, and this is 100 over here. So that does interact with the Fibonacci on the downfall of the downfall. There are two patterns that's being developed at the AMD right now. One is inverse head and shoulder. Based on that, what we are looking target wise is also somewhere around 170. How we do it, we measure the height of this from head to neckline over here, and whenever the neckline is broken, actually this was the neckline which was broken right here, we add this much valuation, so that goes to 170 level approximately. So that's one target. The other target, that is 194. That's a falling wedge that was falling from here earlier, but we will not go in detail. The recent the most first target that we are looking to see is somewhere around 170, to be precise 173 to me. This is the topic that I was talking about, the falling wedge. once if it goes 173, then we will start talking about it. But before it happens, then we might be developing some cup and handle as well in this who knows triangle. This is the downfall thing, but we are not going to talk about it. This is the too big of a structure. It could happen, but not at this moment. There is a probability of it, but very less, so we will skip that one. So I just wanted to show you when we started rising up from 76 to 150 and how our fibs standing right now. So if you see, the Fibonacci levels are coming at 131, 120, 112. If you see between those two cluster, 38 to 50%, we have good base being built over here. So that could act as a good support, and we know that our 100 line is good support as well. But this 110 to 120 level, which will act as a good support. And if you notice that 117 is right here, that is our reflex point. We should not give up that point in any time from now onwards if we are going to look for the upward movement of the AMD. There is something interesting on this one. I have never shared about volume profile. What is the volume profile? It shows you where is the most buying happening on that particular day, actually. So this is from basically entire month of May and June. It shows me the volume, and this one we call it a point of control. That this is the daily chart, this is the daily volume profile actually. So most of the if you see particularly on this day, the most of the volume that was concentrated was around this price actually. On this, which one was 116. So this one is 116 as well. This one was around 118. So that tells you that okay, who was in the control for that day actually. I will go next slide. We will go much in the detail about this one, but volume profile plays a crucial part that I have never discussed, but I do follow it, and it gives you some visibility that you can't see it on the candlestick chart. So this is a good thing to go through. There are many ways to go through it, but this is neat and clean, which is a daily basis. But if you want to see any range that you are putting, this is simple. When the downfall was happening, what is my where is my volume volume located maximum? That was around somewhere around 161. So yes, this could act as a resistance, but then we have to start looking what was the what's happening on the buying profile over here as well, just from here to here. So yes, that gives you idea, but much clearer version comes from here actually. So what it is basically, you can read this one, session volume profile it's called. If you see that thickest horizontal line, which is a point of control, this is the definition, not mine, but yes, that's what we conclude. Price level with the highest traded volume of the day over here. So let's talk about today. It's not in the graph. Okay, that's fine. So most traded volume on this day was around 137. So it opened here, it went all the way up here, and it went all the way up here. We don't know what was the closing price on it, but if you see that there were some mostly buyers on this level, a little bit seller emerged from here to here actually. But that was who was in control that day? That was a buyer. I have in the next slide, I will compare you both a candlestick chart and this volume session profile as well. Let's call it a volume profile, so you will get the better understanding of it. So yes, this one is better, right? Let's see about today. So we open around I will not call it a 141, we open around, but the 142 is basically, that's where the majority of the buying happened. Who was in control most of the day today? It was red. Basically we close in the red by looking at this profile. Who was in control over here? Mostly green, so we close green on that day. This one is 50-50. This one was most probably, this one is a lower closer actually. This one has to be red candle, this one has to be green candle, this one has to be green candle. So green, green, red, 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 green, green, red, red, red. Let's compare side by side. Let me show you on actually real, so we can, let me zoom in on this one. So if you see this, most of the volume control over here, and we close it over here as well actually. It opened over here, we went all the way up and came down, and there was a selling pressure on this volume actually. What we see, how it helps, basically when you are looking, this POC has to be climbing. As long as POC climbing and we see the red candles, we can ignore that. But I will not say we can ignore them, but it gives us idea what's happening, where the majority of the volume is for that week or something. So that help us analyze on the bigger factor with the volume profile as well, not only by looking at the candlestick, because candlestick sometimes, it doesn't follow all the rules. It doesn't give you the entire picture if you are just looking at the candlestick, but with the volume profile it does make sense time to time. So what happens if I'm going to be trading this one? This is my cluster over here of the lower values. This is my center value. I did not see anything around this. The stock moves so fast over here, then we are making a cluster. So to me, that if I'm a buyer, I will not go and buy it at this moment. I will wait to come for it to come between this two level. Actually, if it comes, then my chance of bounce back happens bigger. The reason that this volume profile could jump in and starts buying over here. On the other hand, you can say this profile can start selling here. Yes, it could happen as well. So in that, we have to see what's a range profile actually. And this is the last, as we spoke already on this one. Oh yeah, and this one, as we are climbing up, if you see that this is the new line, parallel channels that it's being following, as we see that we are on the upper end of this one, there is extremely possibility that we can open a one more parallel channel with this one, and it can shoot from here. But what are the chances? It's very less, because we are hitting major resistance, psychological one at 150, then 173. So I think this channel is going to be maintained for AMD. So this is AMD. Most likely we are going to see 173 to 187. Yes, the video is longer, but this is the way. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please comment or subscribe. And if you want me to study some of your charts, please let me know. I'll be happy to do that. Thank you.